Eva stared through the grime. Droplets hit the windowsill outside, bouncing against the dirty glass and the metal bars, unable to wash away the filth. The garden drowned in the rain. She could make out the gravel path leading to the pond, and the red tulips planted alongside. The heads were closed against the weather, but they'd open again when the sun came out. Perhaps tomorrow. Eva loved the garden, although she was only allowed out once a week, if she'd been good. If she'd been bad, all she got to do was stare at it from the window. Like today. Eva hummed as she watched the water cascading down the window frame, a few droplets coming in under the sash, trickling onto the carpet by her feet. She hummed a lot. It was one of the few things that helped drown out the other sounds. Earplugs didn't work, neither did headphones, and nor did jamming her fingers into her ears until they bled. The voices always got through somehow, bypassing her ears and planting themselves in her head, constant and relentless. She dipped her bare toe onto the sodden carpet. It was black and mouldy, like most of the rooms in her block. Her ward was the worst, she'd heard, although the person who told her was a patient, so unlikely to be reliable. All the women here were sectioned, which meant severe disorders, each and every one of them, Eva included. She knew that, but she didn't put much faith in the diagnosis. Eva wasn't here because of the voices.
Meds in 10 minutes.
A real voice from a skinny man who stank of BO and called himself Nurse Stevie. He wasn't a real nurse. He was an orderly with 3 GCSEs. Nobody knew except Eva. Stevie poked his head into the quiet room and smiled at its sole inhabitant. Eva faced him and smiled back.
"You're not supposed to talk in here," she said.
Stevie thought she looked nice today. Eva could feel it, fragments drifting and forming. She hummed more loudly, conscious of her dress, which was too small and too tight. It was one of her favorites, though. One of her own, not some donated crap. The laundry had shrunk it, the fuckers. Eva watched, listening as Stevie stared at her. He liked her legs. His vocabulary was limited, and his thoughts always the same. He stared and he thought about it, but he never tried it. Stevie's thoughts were disgusting, but Stevie was harmless. Eva ignored him and gave the garden one more scan before heading into the communal lounge. The queue to the pharmacy counter was long and slow. The girl in front of Eva had a severe dissociative identity disorder. Eva hadn't believed it until she saw and heard it for herself. Eva considered herself cursed, but at least she knew the voices weren't hers. Tammy, the poor sod, didn't know who was inside her. Were both versions of her called Tammy? Did the other identity call itself by some other name? If Eva had bothered to talk to Tammy, maybe she'd know. Or she could just sit and listen. Eva was good at listening. The girl behind Eva in the queue, Andy, was mute and had been for years. But in her head she repeated a number sequence over and over. It changed every few days. Today it was easy to read, and Eva did so, observing Andy's face, the arch of her eyebrows, the position of her jaw, the way her cheek muscles tensed as she mentally mouthed the words. Andy tilted her head and blood flowed to her lips, trembling under the thoughts. Eva found herself humming along, turning away for several minutes while the queue shuffled forward. It became annoying, noise in her head. Eva turned back to Andy. Their eyes met and she saw it all in a heartbeat.
3-7-19-24,
whispered Eva. Andy's eyes widened in shock and she began to shake all over. Her lips parted as she started to hyperventilate. Eva sighed and turned back around as the girl collapsed to the floor.
"Panic attack,"
Eva said to Tammy.
"It happens to mental people all the time."
Tammy snickered but didn't look round as a couple of the nurses rushed over to help. One of them caught Eva's eye. Her name was Susan. Her thoughts jumped out, wary and accusing. Suspicious as always, but unable to prove Eva had anything to do with it. Eva smiled. The nurse kept her mouth shut.